A very good morning. This is following on the Ashes Inquest. We are live on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. We're on talkSPORT 2 and coming to you wherever you get your podcast. It's Sam Ellard in for John Norman today, alongside, as always, the double Ashes winner, Steve Harmison, on another bad day for England. Australia closing day 3 on 518 for 7, leading by 134 runs. Travis Head making 163, his third 100 of the series, far and away Australia's best batter, best player probably this series. Michael Neser, the night watchman, faced 90 balls for his 24, the only wicket to fall in the morning. Poor bowling again from England. Potts crossed the 100-run mark in just 15 overs. England better in the afternoon session, taking 3 wickets. And then Steve Smith, not sure how it's taken him so long, but he scored his first ton of the series. He was dropped by Crawley on 12, tough chance, but he made England pay in typical Smith fashion, going to the close on 129 not out. He's now the second highest run scorer in Ashes history. Only Bradman is above him. He was well supported towards the end by Green, who made 37, and Webster not out on 42. So Australia 518 for 7. A very good morning, Steve Harmison. How are you, Harmy?
Good morning, Samuel. Yes, very well. It was a hard watch, that. It really was. I thought England started the day very well. I thought they set the tone quite well with the ball. I thought the right option was taken with Stokes and Tongue, but they had to get Neser out for that bowling partnership to work. And Neser did what the Australians have done throughout this last 6.5, 7 weeks, which is frustrate England by playing Test match cricket. I mean, he valued his off stump. He played and missed a lot. He missed quite a few. England were quite close to, getting the outside edge, didn't quite carry now and again. But for that partnership to work, for everybody talking about, right, England's best 2 bowlers, Stokes has got to set the tone with the day, and so did Tongue. I thought first 10 overs, England did quite well. They just didn't get Michael Neser out, which then would have brought Smith in a bit earlier while that bowling partnership was going well. But once Matt Potts came on and bowled his first ball, Travis Head had that plan in place, which was, I'm just going to smash you for wherever you put the ball. And he did. And he batted brilliantly. And Travis Head set the tone for Stephen Smith to come in. Like you say, he hasn't got that Ashes 100 in this series, but he came in, he settled in, and boy, did he cash in by the end.
So, Harmy, you thought England started the day well, but just a word on Matt Potts. He bowled 25 overs, didn't get a wicket, and went for 141 runs. His economy rate was just over 5.5 runs and over. I know he's someone that you know well. Do you feel for him? How hard do you think it is for him, having sat and watched and carried the drinks for the last 6 weeks, to then come in and having not played much? He hasn't played much cricket. He hasn't bowled many balls, has he, since the end of the county championship? How hard is it to not play much cricket and then come in to the Ashes and have to bowl at Travis Head, who's possibly the informed batter in the world right now?
Yeah, I mean, it is so tough. I think there's sort of the two sides of this story from Potts' point of view. He's not just carried the drinks for the last 6 weeks. He's carried the drinks, arguably, for England for the last 18 months, 2 years. He came in when he come in 2022. I give him his cap at Lords on his debut against New Zealand. He started very well. He's played 10 Test matches. But since the sort of start of the last summer, he's been up and down the motorway in a lot of squads, white ball and red ball squad, and then having to go back and play for Durham. He didn't have the best season for Durham. He averaged 40, and I think in 10 games or 11 games. And then he's gone to Australia. He's done exactly the same. He's carried drinks for the first team, gone off to the Lions. He's bowled 50 overs, I think, in match situations for the Lions, and then got his chance. And got his chance on a flat pitch against Travis Head, who's come out with a game plan. So I'll never, ever question the effort of England's bowlers on this trip, especially England's bowlers in today. But unfortunately, Australia, you play on a good surface once the ball goes a bit soft. I mean, unless you've got ridiculous accuracy, a tall release point, or you're quick through the air when the pitch is flat like Sydney was, then you run the risk of going around the park. And unfortunately for Matt and the rest of the England bowlers, they weren't able to put 4 or 5 balls in the right area to create a chance to create pressure, build maidens to make sure that, backing each other up, the ball was leaking at all parts. And the worrying thing for me and the disappointing thing for me, like I said in yesterday's show, is England, not only did England not be able to build pressure, but they were still making the same mistakes at lines and lengths they were bowling from Perth, which was 6 weeks ago. And that, for me, that's criminal.
So, Harmy, just on that, I want to push you more on that, because you're absolutely spot on to mention the inconsistency in the bowling. There's been the odd time England bowled okay, but for the majority of this series, they've been wayward. And you're bang on to say they haven't been able to put enough pressure on Australia, bowl good lines, good lengths, outside of the off stump, 5-6 balls and over. It's not possible. It feels as if every time I've had the TV on, Harmy, 2 balls and over pitch, drive through the offside. The next 2 balls, too short, cut and pulled. Why have England got it so wrong so often over the last 6 weeks? Whereas the Australia bowlers, and without Hazelwood, without Cummins, they've been able to do it much better.
Well, they're playing at home and they know the length of the ball on an Australian surface with an Australian ball, and they know a good length against any batter. And England haven't been able to find that. I mean, England bowlers have got better the more overs they've bowled, but by the time they've got better, it's just enough, not as in to create pressure. So as Potts got a bit more bowl under his belt, Tongue didn't start that well when he first came into the series, and then got better as his test match progressed. England throughout the 6 weeks have always been playing catch up, whether it's with a bat, with a ball. You can talk about preparation as much as you want. This is the 5th game of the 5th. This is the 5th test match. So you should be acclimatized and ready now. The problem you've got is if you're always playing catch up, the psychological edge that the batter's got over you. I mean, England bowlers would go to sleep at night just looking at Travis Head's square cut or his uppercut because England, they've bowled to it far too many times. So when you say there, you go 1 or 2 balls through extra cover and 4 balls and over, it doesn't bother me if I'm getting hit for 4 if in a planned situation in an area which I'm trying to get them to score in, where I've got catchers and I've got fielders. The problem I think England have had so far, England have had throughout the Australian summer, is England have gone for boundaries all round the ground. They've been easily hit straight back past them. They've been square cut and uppercut far too much. And I mean, and sort of not pulled and sort of glanced into the leg side just to sort of alleviate pressure. Now, just Travis Head for an example, if I'm bowling at Travis Head, and I'm bowling to a plan which is a little bit fuller, I don't mind him hitting me down the ground. If he hits me for 4 straight back past me, or he beats mid on and mid off, I don't mind that. If I'm getting clipped into the leg side, I don't mind that. Right, going for 4, I don't mind that. But if he's hitting me for 6s and 4s with a square cut, an uppercut, or a pull shot, which he's done brilliantly well in the first test match in Brisbane, I don't want him doing it in Sydney, because that means my plan hasn't worked, and I'm not bowling to the team plan, and I'm not executing the way I should be. And I think that's the difference. England probably have had plans in place to certain said batters. They just haven't been able to execute them. So you don't mind as a bowler going for 4, as long as it's in the said plan where you're trying to get a batter out where you think he's got a weakness. England have been far too easy, scored all around the ground with both Head, Smith, and whoever's come to the wicket.
Harmy, one more question for you on the fast bowling. Something that was kind of discussed on social media throughout the course of the day and in the build-up to this test match, and a few people in the comments watching live right now on talkSPORT's cricket YouTube channel want me to ask you, should Ben Stokes be taking the new ball for England? Is there an argument to be had that he's England's best bowler playing in this test match, and therefore being England's best seam bowler, he should be taking the new ball?
Sam, I said that to...
No.
I think I said that to everybody during the India series, that if Tongue and Castle are playing, Ben Stokes has to take the new ball.
Why do you think he's not then?
Because he's Ben Stokes. I think, 1, he's got a lot on his plate. 2, he's very, very loyal towards his team. He's very loyal towards his bowlers. If he takes a new ball, will it look down to the fact that these three seam bowlers who have been picked as just seam bowlers alone, does he not back them because Ben's taking the new ball? I mean, that's just Ben, and I don't know what his rationale is on this. I said to him, I think it was Old Trafford, I thought, you should be taking the new ball. And I mean, I felt sort of, well, what's the word? I mean, it was like sort of quite ironic from me that I'm basically for 2 years telling him not to bowl while he's got a bad knee, and then the following summer telling him he should be using the new ball. But he's our best bowler, and he has been our best seam bowler today. Jacob Bethell, I thought, bowled well for the 15 overs he bowled. But Ben Stokes, while you've got Tongue and Carse in the team, Ben Stokes should take the new ball because his natural length and the way he shapes the ball is much more suited than a Carse hitting the deck and a Tongue hitting the deck.
Sure.
I don't think Josh Tongue is a new ball bowler. I really don't. But people are calling for him because England are so devoid of a new ball bowler. It's ridiculous. So, yes, I do believe he should have been taking the new ball, but it's in keeping with Ben Stokes' character that these three seamers I've backed to pick them. It might look as though I'm not backing them if I just supersede them and take the new ball. I didn't have a problem when Andrew Flintoff took the new ball in Australia when I went there for the second time because I wasn't using the new ball well enough. If you're not using the new ball well enough, but you're still good enough to stay in the side because you've got a different side because of your skill set, then I don't think there is any way that the captain is not backing you. He's just backing you to do a different job. And I think that's what Ben Stokes should have been saying to himself in taking the brand new ball.
We'll hear from Jacob Bethell, Harmy, very shortly. He spoke to TNT after the day's play. On England's fielding, Will Jacks dropped I think a fairly simple catch on the boundary. It was after Travis Head made 100. There was also a really tough chance off his own bowling from Travis Head. Crawley, tough chance to get Smith early, but just overall in general, did it feel like today England's heads dropped pretty early in the day? I got that impression, watching Harmy. And, I know it's been a long tour. It hasn't gone the way England would have wanted. But did England just look a little bit cooked in the field today? And is that expected after a long series which just hasn't gone the way England wanted it to?
I think it's a little bit expected. I think it's human nature that you're looking for the plan as opposed to looking to, concentrate on the game, and the game is there and the series is over and you're trying to do your best for the team. But I think it's only natural that some people are looking for the aeroplane as opposed to what's happening in front of themselves. And sometimes that big moment gets away from themselves. And that unfortunately happened today. There was a lot of noise about how easy the Will Jacks chance was. And some people were on social media and even some of the commentators, I thought some of the commentators went over the top a little bit. It was a relatively straightforward attempt to take a catch. There's a lot of things going in the mix. The ball was going a bit flatter. He should have caught it. He's a professional cricketer at the elite level. He should have caught it. But when the boundary's in play and you're not sure where your feet are and your hands and the ball's coming flat at you, I mean, in one-day cricket, you see them taking all the time. But in Test match cricket, you don't see the, run towards the rope, catch it, jump over the top, come back, and all that, which Will Jacks has done many times himself. So I'm not defending it, but I'm just saying it was
harder than people are making out. Yeah,
I think it was more difficult than what people make it out to be. The one I thought was the one that should have been taken was Zach Crawley's leg slip. I really thought that should have been taken and Zach will feel that as well. He made that look harder than it needed to be. He's a slip fielder. Fair enough if it was a cover fielder, a Ben Duckett, which is a cover fielder, or a cover point fielder, or a backward point fielder in a leg slip. I could understand him dropping it and going it the way he did. But Zach Crawley is a slip fielder. So I thought that was made more difficult than it looked. Look, Sam, in this series, you look at the moments, that Will Jacks moment, England are still well in the game. Crawley's moment, England are still 200 ahead at that point. You go back to Smith's one-handed catch, Labuschagne's one-handed catch. Inglis's run out of Stokes, where Ben Duckett's run out this afternoon, was probably a lot easier than what Josh Inglis was, and he missed it by the same distance I missed the pitch in Brisbane. I mean, these moments throughout the series.
Is this you exclusively volunteering, Harmy, to be the next England fielding coach?
No, you're joking. Have you seen the way I used to be? I mean, I was like Bambi on ice.
No, come on, they need one, Harmy. It could be you.
Well, I think they might need more than a fielding coach. I think they might need more than a fielding coach. So, look, at the end of the day, big series are big moments. How many times throughout the summer were we talking to each other during the India series, and England got some of them big moments in their favour. India got some of them big moments in their favour. Not sure many big moments in these 5 test matches. England have been in Australia for this Ashes series, have gone their way. They tend to have gone towards Australia. And sometimes that goes with the team that's in the ascendancy and driving the game forward. And again, today, there's a lot of big moments in that game, and England didn't grasp them.
Some of the comments, that was an absolute sitter by Jax. Another one, Jack should be catching that 99 times out of 100. Jack should have swallowed it. Another comment on the live cricket YouTube stream. Let's hear, shall we, Harmy, from inside the England camp. Jacob Bethell spoke to TNT Sports after the day's play. He didn't have a bat today, obviously, but he got through 15 overs, picking up 1 wicket. He got Travis Head LBW for 163. But here, Bethell starts by speaking about Steve Smith going to the close unbeaten on 129.
The way he goes about it, it looks weird, but the fundamentals of it are very good. So yeah, definitely would take a lot from him, and especially more so how Ruti went about it. Just on that wicket, it's a new ball wicket, and once you get through those first 20-30 balls, you know that you got to be the one to go out there and do it. So yeah, we'll be trying to do that in the second innings.
Any cracks appearing on that wicket from the beginning of the day? Is it drying out anymore?
There's not as many. There's not really any that are in play really. They're a couple wider, but yeah, I can't see anything yet that's actually going to affect anything.
So that's good news for England going forward.
Well, yeah, the perfect world would be they just hold while we're batting and then
break up.
Absolutely break up. That'd be great.
And mate, why don't we talk yesterday about watching great players? So you talked about Joe Root. From everything, his preparation, the way he plays, what's the biggest thing you take from watching the legend?
I mean, a lot of it is watching him. He does it. He actually talks pretty. I don't really understand him when he talks batting. He's that good. But the biggest thing I've learned.
That's gold. That's gold.
The biggest thing I've learned is kind of just his mindset in terms of like when he doesn't get runs, it's when's the big one coming. Whereas rather than just searching or anything, you always know that if he misses out a couple of times, there's a big run around the corner. So yeah, that's definitely been the biggest learning.
I just wanted to ask you, coming into this, there was a lot of conversation about whether it be you or Ollie Pope that goes in at number 3. And everyone was guessing from the outside, from the inside, from the camp. What was your narrative? What was your reality? What did you know about it and what did you think?
To be honest, I hadn't felt that I did enough to start the series at number 3. I came into the India series and got 2 single-figure scores, which doesn't really deserve an Ashes call-up. So yeah, I thought the way it went down was how it was going to go down, and to be honest, a lot was made of it. Me and Popey are good mates, so it's pretty hard to see him and me just kind of be like kind of put at loggerheads, but yeah, it's kind of the way I thought it was going to go.
That's Jacob Bethell there, the England all-rounder, speaking with TNT Sports after the day's play. And nice hearing him be pretty honest there, Harmy. I mean, often, players answer those sort of questions at the end with a straight kind of bat. But, he said he didn't deserve to play, maybe not even make the squad, having, not played much Test cricket in the summer. Then when he did, he got those single-figure score in the 5th and final Test match. Did the whole kind of Bethell-Pope thing play out the way you expected it to? Pope to start the series, and then Bethell was just waiting in the wings if Pope failed?
Yeah, I think that. And I think England knew that. I think the 1-year contracts told you that as well. I think that was... I mean, I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed Jacob. I really enjoy Jacob when he speaks. I think he speaks honestly. It's a weird one, isn't it? Because you have the tone of his voice and the accent that he's got, the West Indian accent that he's got, and the laid-back character that he is. There's a thinking cricketer in there. When you listen to a lot of what he says where he goes about his stuff. And when you hear him in an interview with NASA before the test match, talking about the way he goes about the game, there is a special talent in there. And I think it's important that he gets these experiences. Yes, he might not have, I'm not saying he hasn't earned the right to have that, but you've only got one adult 100 in all formats of the game under your belt. When he says, I'm not sure I deserve the Ashes call-up, he is probably right at the very start. But Ollie Pope was going, I think he had to come out of the team, so it was important that Bethell was ready to come in. Sam, do you know what? I don't know if you heard Joe Root yesterday, and the reason why I'm laughing and I'm nodding my head is just Justin Langer, Joe Root, and Sir Alistair Cook had a conversation yesterday about batting. And it was a riveting conversation about with somebody that's got 8,000 test runs, 13,000 in nearly 13,000 for Cook, nearly 13,500 for Root. And they talked about the art and the fundamentals of batting and test match cricket and different ways of utilising the crease and your hands and defending your off stump. And I wasn't sure if Joe Root was, because Justin Langer asked him what's the takeaways from that innings. And I wasn't sure if Joe Root was trying to make a statement for people in the dressing room that he's playing with to listen to what he's saying. Because I would have clipped that up, put it on video and send it in the England dressing room and say, here, lads, this is why I've got 13,500 runs. Now, Joe Root would never, ever do that. But then you've got Jacob Bethell, who is sort of symptomatic of the Bazball era, has just said, I don't really understand when Joe Root talks about batting. I'm thinking, yes, you're right, you don't, because you don't think that way. You don't think that way. And I know it was probably a flipping comment from young Jacob, but the England batters and the England players under this regime don't think the same way as Joe Root. So one person's got it right, or 14 people have got it wrong, or 14 people have got it right in their eyes, and one person's got it wrong. That one person's got 13,500 test match runs, 41 centuries.
Yeah,
so
I think I know which way I'm going to go, Harmy, on that one.
Yeah, I think I know which I'm going to go as well. So it was a flipping comment, but when Jacob says, I mean, I didn't really understand when Joe talks about the batting. I don't think he was talking about his Sheffield accent. That worries me a little bit.
You mentioned there Bethell being there like a cheeky chappy, a good lad. It's the Barnet, Harmy, that I'm flabbergasted. I mean, how would you describe that Barnet to someone that hasn't seen the Jacob Bethell trim? Yeah,
I mean, it's
crazy, isn't it? No,
it is. It's crazy. He's got a West Indian accent.
Yeah,
from. It was an English-born West Indian accent with an Australian haircut. I mean,
is that Australia? It's aggressive on top, isn't it? In bleached blonde.
Yeah, stereotypical surfing dude, isn't it? I mean, he's off the Bondi with the TNT lot with joking how cold it is in England and how hot it is in Sydney. And look, I'm being facetious when I'm talking about Bethell there, and it's very difficult at the end of it, a long, hard day, to do the media and still be upbeat. So good for him to try and be upbeat. He bowled well for his captain today. He took a lot of pressure off some of the seamers because England haven't played a frontline spinner. Australia haven't played a frontline spinner. And they didn't have the 20-odd overs. 23 overs from Jackson, from Bethell. Potts could have been staring down a barrel of close to 200, and so could England's other bowlers. So
there's still time.
There is still time.
Harmy, just in the
that's the way it's going.
In the last couple of minutes, just a word on Australia and I guess the two Centurions. I mean, the only surprise with Steve Smith is that it took him to the 5th Test match to get his first 100 of the series. And Travis Head. I mean, is Travis Head the most informed batsman in the world at the moment? I mean, a ton in the first Test to get Australia off to a flyer, a ton in the 3rd Test to win Australia the series, and now a ton in the final Test match in what probably is going to seal the series win for Australia.
Yeah, Head was brilliant. He really was. He set the tone and give Steve Smith a chance to come in. I think a word on Michael Neser as well. He didn't get many runs, but he
90 balls.
Chewed up 90 balls. And I mean, I would take chewing up 90 balls from one of England's top 6 just to give Joe Root or Ben Stokes a chance.
Mate, I think at one point I saw a stat on Twitter, Harmy, when he faced about 70 balls, that he's faced something like more balls than Ben Duckett's previous 4 innings or something like that, which is just crazy.
It is, yeah. And I mean, who'd have thought, Sam? We're sitting here 5 Test matches in. You would have said, you've just made a statement there saying is Travis Head the most informed batter at this moment in time from an opener's point of view? I would have said Ben Duckett was before this test series. I mean, Ben Duckett was somebody who nobody wanted to bowl to, and now you look at Travis Head. I mean, he has a game plan. It looks a little bit ordinary at times, and it looks a little bit peculiar, a little bit like Steve Smith, especially in defence. But the fundamentals of batting are there. When the ball is released and at the point of contact with bat on ball, his head's in a great position. He's still, and his hands are, in tune with his body, as opposed to England being off balance, head over, and hands away from their body. So yeah, he had a plan against Potts. He took England's bowlers on. He waited for the short ball tactics. He knew which areas he was wanting to score in. As good as Travis Head has been, I think as bad as England have bowled to him in the planned situation. Because like I said before, he's still scoring in the same areas far too easily. For me, during that first test match and that third test match into the fifth test match, and that's criminal for me from a bowling plan's point of view. And Steve Smith is just, he's just class, isn't he? He's absolutely
He's good
class.
at cricket, isn't he?
He's very, very good. The mannerisms and everything that goes with it, whether you enjoy it or not, the same with Marnus. You earn the right to be like that. You earn the right to behave the way you do because of the way you stack it up, you back it up. He's behind Bradman. There's only Sir Donald Bradman scored more Ashes runs than Stephen Smith. That tells you everything about how good Stephen Smith is as a cricketer. We are so blessed in this generation that we've probably seen the best of Virat Kohli. We've probably seen the best of Kane Williamson. But Joe Root and Stephen Smith at this moment in time are still head and shoulders better than anybody else in the world. One's 34, one's 36. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. And I think Smith was brilliant today.
Harmy, that was the quickest 28 minutes of my life. Thank you very much, my friend.
Cheers, Samuel.
Like the bid, by the way. The following on Ashes Inquest is going to be back same time tomorrow, reviewing day 4, 7:30 on talkSPORT's cricket YouTube channel and also on talkSPORT 2. And for the gentleman that asked in the comments, where's John? Don't worry, John Norman is back tomorrow with Harmy at 7:30. Australia will resume day 4, 518 for 7, leading by 134 runs. Steve Smith unbeaten on 129. This has been following on the Ashes Inquest.